Hello my fellow riders and welcome back to Riding Reviews. Today we're going to be doing a test ride on the Tomos 50cc 2-stroke auto. Hello my fellow riders, today we're going to be having a test ride on the Tomos 50cc 2-stroke 2-gear semi-auto moped. Now, as you can hear from the sound, this is a 2-stroke moped and you should be looking at getting about 35-ish miles an hour out of it. You will be able to see shortly when the camera drops down that the speedo on this isn't very accurate because it bounces about all over the place. But this is a very cheap motorbike. This one was actually bought off of eBay for somewhere in the region of £600. Then it was MOT'd and sold on again. It only had somewhere in the region of 10 miles on it, so it was never used. I think it was bought, sit in a garage for 4 or 5 years, and then they decided that they didn't want it, so they sold it to us. Now this bike in particular is not very fast. It's about the same sort of speed as the Yamazaki's series when they're restricted. This one I believe is also restricted, but when you're going down a hill you can get somewhere in the region of 45 miles an hour, but going up hills is quite a lot slower. And with a 2-stroke, the way that the 2-stroke produces power is slightly different to a 4-stroke. 4-stroke generally has the power all the way through the rev range, almost, and a 2-stroke usually has a couple of points on the rev range where it has more power. So what you find on a 2-stroke is at about 6,000 RPM they will go like the clappers, but anything under that they struggle to pull a little bit just because of what they call a power band. Now, as I said, this bike is very basic. I can't find anywhere where you can buy them new at the minute, but there is another one for sale on eBay for £800. So potentially if you want one you can pick that up and it will give you the 2-stroke feel, but it's not on Aprilia. The Aprilias will do 60-ish miles an hour, this will do nowhere near that, and it doesn't have the power output. This is just a bog standard 2-stroke. Maybe it could do with some modifications, increase the jet size, remove some sort of restriction at the exhaust probably, and that'll make it fly. But 2-strokes are a little bit less reliable than a 4-stroke just because the way that they are made. This one was a little bit of a pain to start originally, and that was because the spark plug that was in it was probably the one from new and it didn't want to work anymore, and apparently that's quite common for a 2-stroke. 2-strokes aren't really my cup of tea, and they're not something that I have done a massive amount of work on, but it's nice to have a variety of different type of motorbikes to be able to get information from. So yeah, the majority of bikes that I have rode are 4-stroke, and most of those were 50cc's. But as I said, it's nice to have a little bit of a variety of the different types of bikes to ride. As you can see, this is dropping down to about 25 miles an hour on that hill. Usually on the Yamazaki YM50 it does keep about 35 on there unrestricted, sometimes even faster, but that very much depends on a lot of different factors. And I'm not exactly the lightest person in the world anyway. I'll probably weigh somewhere in the 15.5 kilo range. 15.5 stone, not kilo. This does have bulb indicators and it does have a bulbed rear light. The front lights on these are trash, they're absolutely rubbish. And at night I don't think it's going to be very good. The other thing as well with these is the lights are powered off of the stator, which means if you rev your bike they'll get brighter. If you don't, they're going to be really dim. because the battery on this isn't very big. But again, this is something that you can't, I would say you probably can't get brand new. You might be able to get it from another country and get it shipped in, but there's not really a lot of point in that. And also the other issue that you're going to have with these bikes in particular is all the new emission zones that they're bringing into the country at the minute. You can't actually take this into London, you can't take it to Birmingham now unless you want to pay the emission zone. And I'm not sure, but some of the emission zones are saying you can't go in with a two-stroke regardless of whether you want to pay or not. So is it worth it? Probably not. But saying that, there isn't a lot of really cheap motorbikes out there in a minute. The cheapest 50cc geared motorbike you can get, from what I can see, is either the WK Scrambler 50cc, but I think they went up in price, or the Yamazaki F30, which is about £1,700 on the road. You do get a lot more for the Yamazaki than you would on this, but again, it's some people from old from riding when they were younger will say that, oh yeah, you can't beat a two-stroke. Same as a lot of people will say you can't beat a Japanese bike, and I guarantee in 15 years lots of people will be saying you can't beat a Chinese bike. So originally it was you can't beat an English bike, but they leaked a lot. You can't beat a Japanese bike. They were good. They still are good. But Chinese are catching up quite quickly. If we could make a new bike in the UK, that would be good, but I don't think it is really possible anymore to make one par £5,000. So yeah, this is going to be my last video until after Christmas, so I will be making more videos as of the 4th. I just thought I might have a little bit of a break. Also, there are some other things that I'm working on at a minute. I'm making a diagnostic app so that people can have, so that if you've got a problem with your bike, you put in your symptoms on the app, and it should hopefully help you out with a solution. Also, I'm working on something with manuals as well. So quite a lot of the Chinese bikes that come out at the minute don't have manuals, or you have to download them, or they're in Chinglish. Chinglish is a mix between Chinese and English, and it doesn't quite make sense. So what I thought I might do is make a generic app with generic manuals on it, and then I would also try and get hold of the proper manuals and put them on the app as well, so that you can find out that. But it's just a lot of people are asking questions that potentially they should have seen in the manuals, like spark plug gaps, what spark plug the bike takes, how much PSI, what oil it takes, and all this sort of things, which originally in the older bikes they would have had manual that would have told them all of this, but now nothing comes with a manual anymore. So how are you to know unless you ask the question? So we'll make the app, and then the question will get answered. So anyway, thank you for watching my video. I will leave this video running for a little bit so you can just have the test ride footage of this video with a little bit of music on it. But anyway, subscribe to my channel to stay updated to all of my latest content. Remember, I do make these videos to help you out, so if you want to hit that join button and pay a little subscription fee, that would help riding reviews out a massive amount. And also remember that this isn't owned by Cheap Bikes or Us. This is my own thing, and they have no say on the content that I upload. So remember, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell to stay updated to all of my latest content. But as always, ride safe.